Hey, the new kid, what's up? I've been alright. How have you been? Ah, ah. Alright, we're just gonna wait for some more. Yep, another stream, 1,000 subs with no videos. Can you guys hear me? Say yes if you could hear me. By the way, imagine if you actually got 1,000 subs without making any videos at all. That would be just insane, right? And then you start making them when you get 1,000, like 1,000 subscriber special. Is this like light right in front of me kind of? Seth Moulton running for president is a problem. Um, and here's why. Because the thing with Seth Moulton is that only 20 people are allowed to be in the first debate. And Joe Biden, he's planning on releasing his announcement video on Wednesday. So if you add him, it's 21. So if since Seth Moulton joined in the first debate, one person won't be allowed to even participate, which will kind of suck. I mean, if it's three people, it's like okay, three. If it's one, it kind of feels embarrassing. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know about his policies. Trying to get rid of that light. Damn, I already have some people joining. I wonder how this is. Okay, let me just get comfy. There we go. That's good. That's good. One sec. I'll be right back in a sec. There, I just set it on top of something. I hope that that's better. There, just want you guys to have a good view. Marion, it's either Marion Williamson or Marion, I don't know. So my mom was actually considering supporting her a bit ago because she hasn't talked about much. She's a teacher. She believes in spiritualism. Spiritualism is the main kind of issue for her, and I don't know how that could be an issue. Um, but I mean, being friendlier, I don't know. I don't think she has a shot at it. I think she's definitely an interesting character. Hmm. Yeah, that is true. Donald Trump is. I know 40% seems like a lot, but if you compare it to past presidents, when it's 50, 60, it's really low. Like, it's not good for him at all. It doesn't benefit him. So, yeah. Look, I'm sorry if I'm sorry if I'm sorry if sorry, I was just watching my own stream. That was weird. I'm sorry if the thumbnail was me on my phone. I was setting off the alarm at that moment for me to start the stream. So I my thumbnail is just me on my phone, which is I'll change it later. It's kind of weird. Um, yeah. Oh, there are a lot of comments. I don't know who the next president of the U.S. will be. I think it's actually Bernie Sanders. Yes, Joe Biden is leading, but they only know him. They only know him as a vice president. They don't know him for the issues. They don't know that he's a centrist. So when he starts debating, his poll numbers will go like zoop, zoop, and Bernie Sanders will go whoop, and Buttigieg will go zoop because he'll go down because he's actually kind of a moderate. He's not really a progressive. He's not. He's against free college and all these things. Um, so I think Sanders might win, or if people think he's too progressive, it's going to be Harris who will win. Definitely her or Sanders. I probably will watch the Marianne Williamson's. Wow, I'm having trouble pronouncing. I'll watch her town hall today. Wait, there's a delay, so if you comment something, I mean, you probably won't. I won't see it for about a minute. Pat Buchanan sounds very familiar, but I don't actually know exactly who that is. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna go until 8:30. Yeah, just letting you know. Um, let's get some more comments in. I'd like to see someone when I get back with my chair. Okay. Here's who could beat Trump. I've memorized all the candidates, but when there's so many, I can't say all of them. Like if someone says their name, I'm like, yeah, I know exactly who that is. But who could win? Okay, Harris could win. Sanders has the best chance. He could bring out Republican voters. Unlike Hickenlooper, who says he could unite the country, Sanders could actually do it without even trying because of how much working class ideas are. Sanders could win. Harris could win. Um, who else? I think Biden could actually lose. You know, let me just search them up right now. Just the list of the 2020 candidates, because I need to refresh myself. Hello, election prediction hub. Okay, who could win? Who could win? Who could lose? Let's. Okay, I'm on the Wikipedia page. Yeah, that's right. There's an actual. I don't think you could see. There's an actual Wikipedia page on the 2020 election. Okay, so I have a list of people running. Let me say, I think Buttigieg could win. Gabbard could win. Harris could win. Inslee could win. Uh, O'Rourke could win. I think he could. I think people will go like, well, he's better than Trump, and just vote for him. Sanders would win. Warren would win. Definitely Warren. She's a pretty good candidate. Um, yeah, people who I know will lose. It's probably that's more difficult. I think I'm gonna say it's John Delaney. Yeah, John Delaney. Hickenlooper. I don't want to say his full name. Um, Tim Ryan. He seems like a pretty centrist guy. Um, that's really it. It's only Delaney and Hickenlooper. Everybody else, it could go either way, so I don't want to say. I'm going to say Castro would win. Sanders could definitely win. He has the best shot at winning the thing. The thing? No, I mean the election. I just want you guys to have a really nice view. I think you guys already have it. I think I might be more worried about it than you guys actually are. Um. Okay. Could I like my own stream? I wonder while it's live, could I actually like it? I don't. I think Biden with Biden, I think it could go either way, but he'll most likely lose because I used to see him as the vice president, the cool guy, and don't think it's the scandals that will bring him down because he's running anyway. I think it's that there's a Wikipedia page also. Yes, I like Wikipedia called "Political Positions of the 2020 Democratic Candidates," and he's a centrist. Out of all the people currently possibly running, he's the most right wing guy. I mean, he's pro death penalties, anti legalization of marijuana. He's the only guy who says that he'll allow PAC money, which is kind of messed up. Even the corporates like O'Rourke say no PAC money when he's just doing that to appeal. But Biden is like, I don't care, I'll still have PAC money. He's corporate, he's centrist, he's out of touch. He's what you call the kind of 90s or old school Democrat, just kind of really out of touch. Like when he talks, he doesn't put out his issues. He's really polite and kind of like charismatic. You know what I mean? So I don't think he has a good chance. Stacey Abrams, I think if she runs again, she'll win the Senate in Georgia, right? Yeah, because in the midterms, she ran and she would have won, but there is of course voter fraud. And let me explain it to you. I learned about it. Here's what they meant by voter fraud, or more voter suppression. So it was like if people wrote their name, like let's say a guy's name was Carl Seller, right? And it's let's say people sometimes have the first letter of the middle name. So like let's say on his driver's license he signed in using Carl E. Seller, but then on his voter registration or like I don't know something else, right? Citizenship, he's just said Carl Seller or Carl Edmund Seller, So just a different little name, little different thing. We'll change it, and that was 70% of those people who weren't allowed to vote for was black. Abrams, I think she would have actually been able to win very narrowly. We saw how close a black woman almost beat a middle-aged white guy in a deep South. So if she runs for the Senate, she'll definitely win. I'm very sure. The Dems taking the Senate and the Republicans taking the House. I think Democrats are not going to be able to take the Senate. I think that they'll probably take Lisa Mer. No, they'll probably take Susan Collins' state, Susan Collins' main seat because she's a moderate and moderates aren't liked anymore. I mean, it's possible that she could win. I think they could take Susan Collins's seat. Um, I think they could. Let's see. I think that besides taking one seat, maybe just taking one seat, the Republicans will take back a ton of seats, or they'll just keep the majority because the Republicans don't need to win any seats. I mean, they're probably going to win some seats anyway. Um, I think they could take Mark Warner's seat because he's a pretty moderate Democrat. They could take Mark Warner's seat. Um, yeah, they'll probably expand a bit, and Democrats will just take Susan Collins's seat. So, I don't think the Democrats could win the Senate. With the House, I think the Democrats will continue to win the House. Maybe I think that either way they'll keep the majority in the House. So I think it might actually stay the same in 2020. Before I answer your question, EPHM, election prediction hub mapping, I want to go to 1,000 subs with no videos. Cats or dogs? I love both of them so much, but I have cats myself. I think I'll choose cats because I identify more with them. I'm more of an indoor person. I sit on my ass all day long, basically. I like friends. I love socializing. I'm very warm. But at the same time, I like being indoors. I don't like exercising too much, so I identify with them. With election prediction hub mapping, he's winning in like every single poll. I think Bernie Sanders has only won a few polls. And Biden's lead has actually been kind of going down a bit, but you could still say he's in the lead. But the thing is that Like me, a month ago, I didn't know Biden was a centrist. I would have supported him. But again, people will find out how out of touch and how much of a centrist he is. Um, and they'll realize this guy isn't good. And it might go for some people. They'll probably go for Kamala or O'Rourke. Probably one of, yeah, it'll probably be split between the two of them. I think that Buttigieg's rise is, yep, Cats for Life. Buttigieg's rise is probably coming from O'Rourke's voters because O'Rourke voters are fans of his, but they're also like, I like him. He's young, he's inspiring, but something's off. He's too old school. Buttigieg, even newer. He's like O'Rourke 2.0. Why not support him? Yeah, people would know Biden is a centrist, but they really wouldn't know how to say it. They wouldn't know how out of touch he is too. Right? I mean, right now, when I ask people why they vote for him, he's like, he's a vice president, he's a cool dude. But they don't know his actual policies. You know why? He doesn't say his policies. Can't snap. Let's. What is the? Okay, watch. Nothing, right? Okay. Um. Yeah, people who, if you listen to him closely, you'll dislike him. I flat out dislike him now. I don't think he'll win the primaries. I think he might get actually like third place. I think Sanders and Harris will be ahead of him. There's a small chance O'Rourke could be ahead of him. I think it'll be like Sanders, Harris, O'Rourke, then Biden. With Biden, when people actually understand what he's like, he'll be only liked by the older part of the party, the fraction of people in their 60s and above. Um, actually, I'll say that he'll be third. I think that O'Rourke could actually be fourth, Biden could be third, Harris could be second, and Sanders could be first. But old people really hate Sanders. Yeah. Who do you think we got the super delegates? I think you might think it'd be Biden or Harris, but I think that when you actually when people get to understand Bernie a bit more, well, they already do. When they get to really see that these people aren't great options, like I like Harris. I think that she's generic, but she's not like I love her. It's more like she could unite the party. She's the type of person where it's like nobody hates her, nobody loves her. They're just like she's like an average Democrat, so I guess I could support her. I think she might get them, but I think Sanders could overcome them, possibly, with the vote of the actual people, not a ton of not a ton of elitists who are centrists and out of touch. Who could win Texas? Castro or O'Rourke? That's really difficult. Castro isn't well known at all. He talks about immigration. They're both kind of similar, except O'Rourke is much more general and vast and inspiring and young. Um, and his appeals are much more broad and wide. Castro, I think he will only have kind of Latino appeals, kind of pro-immigration appeals. Here's my cats. Where is he? There. Yeah, right there, right there. You see him? There's another one under the yeah table. He's playing around with they're playing around with each other. Castro, I think O'Rourke could narrowly edge him out because don't forget that Super Tuesday, and Castro wouldn't be well known at all yet, but they're really fighting. Let's say that Castro were to have as much name recognition as O'Rourke. O'Rourke would still win narrowly, but we already know that O'Rourke is way much more well known. He'll probably win Texas by a kind of. I think he'll win the majority of Texas. He'll win the majority of it. Castro won't be too much of a challenge, especially because of how low his name recognition is. Yeah, Kamala Harris. I think she has almost as much of a chance of winning than Bernie. Um, the thing is that I think that when Biden starts going down, some of his numbers might go to Harris, but I think they'll mostly go to people like O'Rourke, maybe. So with Sanders, I think he does have a better chance than Harris because his name recognition is much higher. He could appeal to much more younger people. Harris, again, she's pretty okay. I like her. I approve of her. She's just not. I just. It's just I don't love her. I think she does have a pretty big chance of winning. But I think it's second after Sanders. After that would be Biden, then O'Rourke. After that, it could be anybody. It could be Buttigieg, but again, we can't trust exact polling. Um, yeah, if Abrams did run for the nomination, Stacey Abrams, she won't win. I'm sorry, I really like the woman, but I don't think that she could actually. Ow! I don't think she could actually win. Because you already have just having a really thick black appeal will make you do well, but not when you have the rest of the field. By the way, McAuliffe isn't running, and we know Bloomberg isn't running anymore because Terry McAuliffe and Michael Bloomberg, they're going to endorse Joe Biden. So will Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Chuck Schumer, all these out of touch old moderate Democrats in power, corporate Democrats in power will support Biden. But the actual people themselves will support people like Sanders. And maybe some will support Harris too. Kamala. We'll just call her Kamala because it's much more gripping. Mike Gravel is a pretty interesting character. He is, but he's not running to win. He's running just to be in the first debate and then kind of be done with it. Yeah. I don't think he will get into first debate. Actually, I think he will because he has gotten some popularity, but the votes won't count at the end. But he's trying to bring this kind of non-interventionist vote, and I think he would take away some votes from Tulsi Gabbard because he's just like Tulsi Gabbard, except even more extreme with the non-interventionism worldwide peace, hippie style politics. He's much more extreme than her. I think he could do well, but again, he isn't running to win. Even if he did run to win, I don't think he would win. Although he is a pretty interesting character. Plus 350, I would say Bernie Sanders. I don't. Let me look at my last prediction and see how Sanders did. Because he will win the whole Rust Belt. I'm serious, the whole damn thing, because of how much he could appeal to minorities. It's really that simple. Not minorities. What am I talking about? The working class. Even Republican voters would be like, he knows what he's talking about. Why not support him? Yeah, let me look for my video. Where is it? Where is it, guys? Here it is. Here he is. Oh, Hawaii. I predict that he would win by about 330 delegates. I don't think it could be Trump over 350, but with how many screw ups Trump is having, I mean, I hate Trump so much. I even have a Google document for about 33 reasons why he's terrible. Just listed all of them in it, and I update it like every time he does some dumb stuff, or not dumb. I would say more. He's not a dumb guy. He knows what he's doing. He's kind of smart. It's just that he's impulsive. You know what I mean? We can't afford to have that type of person. Sanders would definitely beat Trump. He has the biggest chance. He could get 350. He could not. Yeah. So Monty Monk. Sorry, did I mispronounce that? I don't think I did. Hillary Clinton, if she can't win, Sanders could beat Trump. Many people could. Like I'd say half of the Democrats running could beat Trump. Just like two, I'm sure would lose. The rest of them, which is about 2/5, no, it's more like yeah. So about half would beat him definitely. Two wouldn't, and then like the rest are just it could go either way, but most likely those would beat Trump too. But I'm just not sure. People don't want the Clintons anymore because you see, look, McAuliffe, Bloomberg, Feinstein, Schumer, Pelosi, and the Clintons will endorse Biden for a run. If Clinton ran again, she wouldn't win. But yeah, Sanders could beat Trump. He has the biggest chance. I used to think it was Biden, but not anymore. The Mueller report, I know, has a Trump's approval rating, according to 538 at least, went from like 40% to 41% after it. But when you actually read the real thing, there's some evidence that he was trying to push it back, which you know what I find funny? It's like the Democrats always know ahead of time. Come on, we all know this. It's gonna happen. Republicans are like, oh no, it's not gonna happen. Like for example, Democrats were like, although they had no evidence to prove it, they're like, Trump is trying to push back the Mueller investigation. Republicans are like, no. You read the Mueller investigation, it says Trump was trying to push us back. He was considering firing me, just like he did with Comey. Um, so it's funny how Democrats already know ahead of time. Come on, we know this, guys, and then it ends up happening. But I don't think it'll hurt him or help him because on one hand, there's no RussiaGate, and people who do believe in RussiaGate just have to accept it. People like David Pakman, they have to kind of accept it. That it's just not true. Because but the Russia did hack election. Trump supporters can stop wearing that aluminum foil hat and saying they didn't because the Mueller investigation literally proved they hacked the election. It's just that Trump didn't directly negotiate with them. So without the Russians hacking the next election, the Democrats might actually win. Though Clinton would have lost anyway, just narrowly. I got really off track. Okay, here's what I mean. With Mueller, again, it would help him because there's no direct collusion, but then it would hurt him too because of how his approval rating has gone down because the trust in him has fallen. You know, Monty Monk, I do agree that policy is more important than personality, but what's interesting that I find interesting at least is that when you have your personality, it kind of plays into you being your policies as well. Because Trump, I think you could say he might have been a bit of a bully because he wanted to do a Muslim ban. This is not a sheesh. He wanted to do a Muslim ban, which is insane, or more like a ban from people in the Middle East, which is insane. And I think that kind of comes in from his personality. Also, the whole impulsive, childish temper tantrum thing kind of played into the whole government shutdown thing. I bet he was stomping on the floor. I want the wall. So I think that personality does kind of play just kind of play into policies. I'll do the Google document. I think I could just list some reasons in a different video. I don't want to list all of them because I don't want to get into a big media argument, though I like ranting. I think I'll do it sometime. So yeah, I will do that. 1,000 subs, no videos. By the way, is that PewDiePie on your profile photo? I don't think Trump's gonna win again, though. I don't. I think he's fractured the country too much, and um, the Never Trump movement is still around, kind of. You have a solid 10% of Republicans who are just like because with Republicans, it's funny because it's like about 85% like him, which is astonishing. I don't know how that happened, but 85% of Republicans love Trump. 10% don't dislike him; they hate him. They just hate him because they don't care. Bill Weld, the libertarian, out of touch Abraham Lincoln guy, they will rather go for him than Trump. So there's that solid 10% who just hates him. I think that they might just vote for some independents during election day. The Democratic base will be strong and it'll vote for somebody else. Harris could definitely unite the party. I have to get some water. Let's see if there are any new comments. I think the person who appeals to Democrats and Republicans the most, you might think Biden, but I think it's Sanders because of how working class he is, or how working class his ideas are. Biden could get some votes from the Republicans. I think Sanders would most likely do better though. Yay, Jared Vega, you're back. Any more history videos coming? I was thinking of doing one on Jamestown, which was the very first British colony in America. or a bit of the Revolutionary War. That would be interesting, actually. That would be cool, right? Revolutionary War. Um, I think I'll do Jamestown. It's much shorter. So yeah, people did say Trump couldn't win last time, but again, Hillary Clinton was highly expected to win, highly, and that's why the turnout was very low. Also, she really fractured the party like really badly. Also, his popularity has gone down severely. Sanders and Biden would be an interesting ticket. It really would, but it won't work. They'll well, that's a funny combination. I think it'll work for the election, but when they're actually in office, they're gonna be really arguing. Wouldn't that be sad if Biden like runs again and just to become VP another time? That would be crazy. Is this light right here bothering you? Yeah. Yeah, Biden could be a VP after serving twice. You could be VP for however long. Barbara, who's my mom, and she's actually joined right now. She's joined right now. She's in that room. How about when you like reply to people, you say their name? So we're just sure, that's all. Um, 2024, I think that there'll be as much Democratic turnout as next election because on one hand, okay, Democrats are in power, we're annoyed. Other hand, minorities are coming in. So I think Democrats might actually do better in 2024 than 2020. I'll end this at 8:30 because some of you guys might have to go to dinner. I know my mom and I have our traditions of kind of watching a TV show episode while we're um watching a TV show episode while we're doing some while we're basically eating. Um yeah. Let me just do a quick survey. I'm gonna send a comment. The Cold War is very interesting. I think that as history gets closer and closer to us right now, I think I do better. Um, Monty Monk, I do agree with that. I think it sounds best, but I hate to say that I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that we're gonna keep getting. Eventually, I think we're gonna keep getting more and more apart. We're gonna have to stop. We're gonna realize we have to stop this because we can't do anything together. All right, Jamestown. Bye, Jared Vega. So you vote Jamestown. I think I'll do James. I'll do both anyway, but just which one first? Yeah, we do need solutions. By the way, Monty Monk, do you think? I think you might be kind of moderate or centrist, but which side would you say you're in? And remember, being centrist doesn't automatically mean that you're out of touch. I mean, that's only a term for like really old politicians. You can't be out of touch when you're 20 years old. I mean, come on. I don't know if I feel bad to say that I'm used to the whole party system. I kind of like it. But it would be cool if we were just all together. Um, I don't know who Sanders' running mate will be. It's probably gonna be somebody like Warren. But if he wants to kind of get a more global kind of narrative, he should get Tulsi or even Mike Gravel on his side. Really, anybody could be his vice president. Maybe even Harris, so she could appeal to the minorities slash average Democrat who doesn't like him. Yeah, his cover is interesting. Sure, right, far right. But do you like Trump? You're far right, right? But do you like Trump? If not, if not, if not, if you're not, just go ahead. Are you do you dislike Trump? But yeah, Ben Carson was a pretty big outsider, so I guess I get why. I haven't actually met any, or rather known any Ben Carson supporters. Um, yeah. Do you dislike Trump because of how I would say impolite he is, or more just like because he isn't far right enough? You know what I mean? So basically, too much of an outsider or not far right enough. Go ahead for why for why you're not crazy about Trump. Hmm. Yeah, Barbara, I was watching that video where it said he was. I think people mainly criticize Carson for being less creepy and more like sleepy. Yeah. Um, what Democrats could use the most against Trump in 2020? That's a very good question. Um, I keep getting confused between election prediction hub mapping and Brandon's election predictions um, because you guys both have the word election predictions in your name, and it's both like in both of your um, account profile photos have the American flag on it. Well, does yours election prediction hub mapping? I don't think it does, but it looks similar. Um, what they could use against Trump, I think they could simply use not impoliteness because that'll hurt them very badly. That's what Biden would use. He'd say, "Come on, kid, what are you doing? Don't be impolite. What's the matter with you, son? Son, what are you doing, kid? We gotta teach y'all a lesson." Um, so yeah, I think they should use kind of like they should attack Trump's. I think that they should use economy. They should turn his dagger around and stab himself because with inequality, some Trump supporters they know that Trump has done some bad mistakes, but they just don't. They how to say it? They aren't ashamed of it. So when somebody says Trump tried to ban uh, Arabic immigrants, they're just going to be like, "Yeah, we know, we like it." So a good way to attack Trump's economy thing is he brags all the time about the U.S. having a booming economy. First of all, George Bush made it go all the way down. Obama brought it up. So, if anything, Trump is just carrying the torch. Also, the U.S. does own a lot of money to China. Um, yeah, I mean, that's probably the reason why. I'm not even kidding. It's about 6 billion. The overall debt is 22 billion. So Trump owns billions of or sorry, trillions, not sorry, trillions of dollars to Saudi Arabia. I mean to China. Whoa. Very big difference. So I mean the fact that he owns about half of our overall budgets, he 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 owes so much money to China that it's half of the overall money that we own right now. So that's probably why it's booming. It's not because of him doing anything. Yeah, Carson, Cruz, Fiorina. Okay, I'm curious, Monty Monk. What do you think of Ann Coulter? Ann Coulter. Who? Oh, Candace Owens. Yeah, the African American kind of far right commentator or something or activist. I think she does. I think she could appeal to a more broad range of people. What type of phone do I have? I'm not an expert in this stuff. See that? Ooh, somebody was calling me. Yeah. I don't know what this is. I don't know. I think it's an Android. Okay, yeah. Craze. I think she's pretty crazy. Hello, sorry, I can't answer right now. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to have to answer a phone call in the middle of a live stream. Policy over personality. White tuber. What do I think about the Jews? Well, the same thing as black people and whites. They're human beings. Um, yeah, I mean, there's too much discrimination in this country. I mean, you remember how Trump I don't want to say that Republicans are the party of anti-Jews. Okay, don't get that message. But Trump said Democrats are the party of anti-Jews, which makes no goddamn sense. When there were far-right Republican protesters in the street in a viral video chanting, "Jews will not replace us. Jews will not replace us." Um, so Jews are just as equal as any other person in the country. Um, I mean, sure, life has been hard on them, like in World War II, but it's been nowhere close to as hard as, like black people. So, yeah. And culture is good. I haven't heard of her much. I haven't heard what she's actually said. 1,000 subs no videos. I remember you said that you're a Republican, but you just aren't a fan of Trump. So how do you feel? A personal question to you. How do you feel about how the whole Republican has kind of gone for the whole Republican Party has gone for Trump? Like, I know his approval rating used to be like 60, 70. Now it's 85 out of nowhere. So what do you feel kind of left behind or abandoned or kind of like, I mean, yeah, I don't think America's the best country. And the Republicans don't call me anti-patriotic. No, don't. Don't. I like the country, but not where it is right now. I want it to change. I don't like where it is right now. There's some pretty bad inequality. What we need is socialism. We don't need it. We just need a better version of capitalism. People say socialism and they compare it to Venezuela. What are you doing? Is that your only defense? Socialism, you're not going to see Bernie Sanders with a military suit in power, oil crisis, killing protesters. That's never going to happen, ever. So, yeah. Why do you think Jews are more discriminated than blacks? Who's Trump's main 2020 challenger? So Mitt Romney isn't running. That probably makes it Kasich. Because Weld, too libertarian. Um, Hogan, Larry Hogan, kind of like he's too moderate. Kasich is moderate too, but he's like moderate slash establishment. He'd kind of be like a Beto O'Rourke or Kamala Harris for the Democratic or Cory Booker for Democratic primary. Or it's like he's moderate, but he could appeal to the establishment. Even then, he has no chance at all against Trump. Against Trump. 4% of the population. That is pretty crazy. About how they run. That how they run the news. Yeah. World War II. I think you might be referring to the Jews. I'm not sure. I just saw your comment. They had a war that wiped out most of their religion. They did. And that's a really sad moment. By the way, I have about 16 minutes left before I have to end this. Just saying. So we're kind of in the third quarter. Yeah, we're in the third quarter now. Oh, by the way, Weld ended Weld ended his exploratory committee, so he's running officially. The only problem I think is he's a bit out of touch because he did say um, that we have to bring the party back to the roots of Lincoln, which is a bit off. Um, I do think you're kind of a libertarian Republican. You have said that before. Election prediction hub mapping. I think that's why it would make sense to me for why you support him, though. Socialism, if you think about it, it's just making the rich people appear because, right, we used to be like this when Obama was president. Now we're kind of like, so what we have to do is we have to make it go like that. So everybody, the rich people, yeah, it sucks. They have to go down, but they still have billions of dollars. Jeff Bezos will still be in the tens of billions. Um, yeah, I mean, he'll still be in the billions, but we just need everybody to be able to sacrifice stuff, the rich actually, so that everybody gets equal. That's what socialism is about. It's purely about equality of people's wealth. There's no better nation to America than besides freedom. That's precisely what I was saying that I believe is not true, or I disagree with you on because I mean freedom. I think if you mean freedom of the press, there's a new poll saying that we're 48th, which I even then we're okay. I mean, it's not like reporters get killed. I mean, worst case scenario, they get harassed, but we do have freedom of speech, and it's pretty good in this country compared to others. But freedom in terms of people's their personal equality isn't is kind of bad. Compared to other countries, it's good, but for being the world's superpower, it's not good for us. You're in the Tea Party. That must mean Republican Party, but I've heard that that's kind of like not the alt right part of the Republican Party, but it's more like this new kind of outsider Ted Cruz type, Ted Cruz, Mike Huckabee type. How would I say it? Kind of like a new further right push, not like alt right crazy, but you know what I mean, more like a new kind of push that makes it go farther to the right. Thing with the rich is that they're mostly white privileged. I mean, I mean, out of all the top 10 people, the top richest people in the US, none of them are actually black. None of them at all. And that's bad because they were white privileged. So if they did earn it, maybe, but these poor people too, they tried so hard, but because of inequality, they even if they tried harder than the rich, they couldn't get anything done. They couldn't. And that's why we need to make people they'll still be very rich. Okay, Jeff Bezos, I mean, he's got 130 billion, and there's no sign of it going down. I mean, by the time Bernie Sanders is president, he's probably gonna have 150 billion. But even then, if we get Bernie Sanders' idea, it probably will go down to 100 billion. But still, you're gonna be pretty damn rich. I mean, you're still gonna be in the top 10 richest people. Besides Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos in the top 10 richest people, there's also Michael Bloomberg, um, Mark Zuckerberg, and I think it's the Koch brothers too. Yeah, George Washington and Eisenhower are both outsiders, but I don't think that their political positions were like they they didn't have specific positions. They just kind of wanted to lead the country. While with this new Tea Party push and new progressive socialist push, they they seem to kind of what was the question? Yeah, that their opinions seem to be they have their ideas front and center. Um, Dwight was a pretty great guy. Even Democrats loved him. They wanted to nominate him too. Um, Bezos will go down due to his report. How do I give mod to everybody? Um, I wanted to put it on live chat because even if people curse, freedom of speech, man. I really hate. I'm not a fan of silencing people in live streams. Um I really don't like timing people out. Okay, oh, participants. Yeah, let me give you all a moderator. Um Let me go to participants. I might not be able to see your comments for a bit. I'm gonna give moderator to you, 1,000 subs and no videos. Monty Monk, basically everybody here. Add moderator. Barbara, add moderator. Who else is here? Who else? Election prediction hub mapping. Did I give you moderator? Oh, okay. Brandon's election predictions. Vermin Supreme is a pretty interesting guy. Um, yeah. I don't like Howard Schultz. I think he's way too centrist and out of touch. I've been using that term way too much, though. I think that he understands that we're in a time of crisis where we're splitting apart, but even moderates are going with that. So even the people who are moderate don't like him because of how rich he is and how he doesn't understand politics. Oh, my mom is gonna get dinner started. That's pretty cool. We have about 8 minutes left. Howard Schultz can't do anything to Bernie Sanders. I mean, I did a prediction of that. I think he could make Bernie Sanders lose Florida, maybe, but I don't. He's a centrist and he could appeal to independents, but I don't. But with Sanders running, especially him, personally, he would do well. Schultz, he won't do well even if he runs because he won't appeal to all centrists. He'll just appeal to the elitist centrist. I bet people like Joe Manchin or Pelosi and Schumer probably respect the guy, but even they wouldn't support him. I think that they'd rather him than Sanders, but I think in the primaries they'll all go for Biden. Sanders will probably be the nominee. I think Harris will have the second biggest chance. Biden will have the third biggest chance. Imagine if you joined in like the last 5 minutes of the stream. That would be crazy. Crazy. Um, Brandon's election predictions. You said you were considering Amy Klobuchar, but why? I haven't heard any of her policies. I don't know it. I get frustrated because she's the only candidate I know that I don't actually know her political positions. I don't understand her. Like Harris is a kind of generic Democrat. Sanders is the progressive. Biden is out of touch. Klobuchar is Klobuchar. The future is too well known. I don't think we should dwell on 2024. That's too far ahead in the future. 2040. I can't imagine that at all. I don't think I should answer, but I'll do it anyway because I don't like leaving questions unanswered. Hey, mom. It's my
Hi.
mom. She's gonna cook dinner for us. Here are my two lovely kittens. Can you see them? Is this a good angle?
Yeah.
Aw, cute. Yeah. Politics in 2040. I think Democrats will actually start winning because for now, Trump is. They look pretty well because of how united they are. The Republican Party does look. They are pretty sturdy, but that's only because of Trump. For the next few elections, you're going to see how minorities are coming in, and Trump's base won't be shrinking, but it's like when you compare their numbers to the Democrats, it'll be way smaller. I think if the Republicans continue on this road, their party will collapse by 2040. Probably in the 2030s, I think they'll still be around, still be one of the main parties, but they won't ever win again after 2024. What's your cat's name? I gave them very, very old-fashioned names. So it's Samuel and Rutherford. Rutherford. Um, we called them Sir Samuel and Sir Rutherford. If you don't want to say their full name, for short we call them Sammy and Ruthy. So Sammy and Ruthy. I think we will have new parties. Actually, that is pretty interesting. I think that the good amount of centrist Democrats could try to create a new party where they're basically like progressives. To hell with them. Um, I think the Republican Party there will be this resistance in it, but it won't be drastic to a point where it will split away. I think it just over time it'll become very small. So Gorbachev, I guess it's much more. She's like a Midwesterner, right? And I thought that before, but it's like it's not exactly a policy. So and she has been rising in the polls. I mean, she's the top on Wikipedia. The top 7 candidates are included in the polling section, but for write-ins, she's constantly getting 8th place after all of them. Usually, it's 2 or 3%. So I mean, I don't know why she's been going up. I bet it's just Midwestern voters or something. Yeah, nobody knows about the 2040s. But I'm just saying that if we continue on the exact trend, which is impossible, the Republican Party might actually collapse. I'm not kidding. But most likely stuff will change, and they won't collapse. Yeah, the world will. We will have to. I think that we will have to switch planets soon. I think that we will have to switch planets soon, but it's not because of nuclear war or global warming, because that's an issue, no doubt. But I don't think it'll make us move. I think what'll make us move is the silent killer, which I would say is overpopulation. When we have too many people, we have more people than actual supplies. And for goodness sakes, hundreds of years ago, only a few thousand people were born every year or every century. Now, not every century, but every single year today, 100 million people are added to the world's population, which is insane. So imagine in 2119, we might have to start considering new planets. Maybe Mars is too cold, but we'll definitely have to consider new planets. Lincoln was a Republican, but back then, it was definitely the party of the anti of against slavery. And I'm not saying the Republicans are pro slavery because they can't. The issue's over. But if anything, Democrats back then align more with Republicans, and Republicans back then align more with Democrats because of how much they fight for minorities. No planets can provide perfect life. I know Mars is close. Titan, when the Earth expands, when the sun expands, it'll swallow Mercury and Venus. Earth will become too hot, but Titan, which is actually one of Jupiter's or Saturn's, I think it's one of Saturn's many moons, will become habitable. But again, that's like in billions of years. There are a few habitable planets, but they're like so far away. We just can't go there. Yeah, China has gone a bit down because they have this policy for having one child now for each parent, but usually there's some sexism involved. Like they'll just have, if it's a girl, they'll most likely have an abortion, or if it's the twins, they'll have to choose one, and they'll most likely choose the boy. I mean, if it's two girls, I don't know how they're supposed to choose, just random, right, Mom? It is a pretty bad policy. Actually, I do. Actually, no. It's that I do agree with the policy. I think we do need just one kid at a time in China, but I disagree with the whole entire "we need boys as a first priority" thing. I think that it should be like I think you could have over one kid, but it's only if you are gonna have twins, something you can't control. Guys, it's been an hour, so for the next 30 seconds, make your last replies or comments come in, so I can quickly read them and then go. I want to explain white privilege later because, well, let me just say it now. Minorities. Look, when you go into a shop or a restaurant, you see people cooking, the chefs. Who are they? Latinos. When you go to people who are most likely ghetto or live in what you call the hood or most likely gangsters, it is blacks. Is it their fault? No. Their families themselves couldn't have the right education from the government. But there's a stereotype where white people are never in these situations because of their privileges. And sadly, it is true. And it's not their fault. Again, it's the government's fault. Gabbard, I'm not too interested. I say the issue that I'm most moderate and most right wing on. I'm still pretty liberal, but the most moderate issue the issue I'm most moderate on, I'd say, is world intervention. So I'm not too crazy about Gabbard. I'll make another prediction on Gabbard. Thank you for watching this, guys. Less government involvement. I don't know. See you guys later, and bye. And